Welcome to the show, Outliers Show. Your host Rizwan Rashid is here tonight with another outlier. And this outlier, my friend, is from Toronto, Ontario, but now she resides in New Jersey and New York intersection, and she is loving the Apple City. Who she is? She is an award-winning TV host of Cindy Uncorked, a singer, an entertainer, keynote speaker, and presentation trainer, and author of a wonderful book called Liberate Your Voice. You probably have seen her a lot on the red carpet where she is talking to all the celebrities. She herself appeared on a number of TV news and channels called ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, Forbes, and INC magazine, and she's all over the place. And I'm really happy to introduce you my friend and my mentor, Cindy Ashton. Cindy, welcome to the show.
Rizwan! Oh my gosh, it's such an honor to be on the Outliers Show. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm loving it because, you are a TV host yourself, and I'm kind of a little bit nervous in front of you.
You did a great job with the intro. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Cindy, we talk about outliers, the people who are, living on the outskirt of human potential, doing something amazing. And I know I've been following you for years, and you have been going above and beyond. The format of my show is always talking about an outlier, and we want to talk about you as an outlier. So how do you describe yourself as an outlier?
I'm definitely a disruptor. My earliest memories, I was 7 years old and I found a bird on the sidewalk, and I picked it up and I went to the emergency vet hospital and I said, I have no money, but you have to save the bird. And then I remember when I was 11, I got upset about the rainforest, and I was like, we need to save the rainforest. And I got some schoolmates and we raised enough money to buy 11 acres of rainforest. Since I was little, I wasn't a normal kid. I was always doing fighting for the underdog and pushing boundaries and questioning authority. It was fun.
See, you already seen the excitement, that entertainer and a true speaker and presenter coming right out in the first call. Cindy, what was your first opportunity that changed your trajectory of your career, of your vision, of your mission, that just boom?
Yeah, that's interesting because since I was a kid, I always felt like I wanted to be an entertainer and sing, dance, and act, but I really thought I was going to be a dancer. And I remember when I was in high school, my first high school I went to, Lauren Park, which was in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, I got kicked out of choir because I couldn't sing, apparently. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's fine, because I'm going to be the greatest dancer in the world. And what ended up changing for me is that when I went to Meadowville Secondary, and I'm staying in Mississauga, Ontario, and I'm saying this because I know we've got a lot of Canadians watching. The stage band conductor came up to me and he says, hey, you're a great dancer. Can you sing? Because I want you to sing this song. We need someone who can be sassy. And I said, I was told I can't sing. So he says, just audition. So I got to the audition. I'm like, never know how much I love you. And he's like, okay, you can sing. And I still remember that day, I got up in front of 800 people in the high school auditorium, and I was severely bullied. I was this weird looking kid, who never had a boyfriend, who was always, teased for being ugly and having a nose that was too big. And I had practically no friends. And so I had a school that hated me, but I still got up there in this gold dress and my long white gloves, and I'm like, fever in the morning. And I got a standing ovation from 800 people who, for the most part, hated my guts. And that really changed my trajectory, and started to think, well, maybe I do have a voice.
Beautiful. I believe you, because listening to you right now, I can witness that you have an amazing voice. So as a 7 years old, you're standing in front of 800 audience and you nailed it. And in a step forward, everybody wants to know that how it opened new doors, new horizon for you, that okay, here's the first one, what's next?
Yeah, so because I've never felt like I fit in, I was always that weird kid. and I never thought that my voice was heard. That was the first time in my life that I actually believed that I had a voice. It was the first time in my life that I believed that I might actually be able to impact people and do something with my life. A lot of my teachers in high school said I would never amount to anything. If they could see me now. But it was the first time, so it really changed the directory, because it was that before I had 0% belief that I was worth anything and that I had a voice, and that gave me that 1%. And for anybody watching, all you need is 1% belief to start that something is possible. And then you take another step, and then it turns to 2%. And then it turns to 3%. And so for me, it was just starting to see the glimmers that there might be opportunity for my life.
Wow, folks, if you are listening to us, you're already feeling inspired, because I'm feeling inspired, because she's not giving you that look for 100% approval, look for somebody else. You just need 1%, and that 1% gets you started, because all it takes is to get you started. And this is what Cindy did. So now I wanted to ask you, this is pivotal. This is like the fundamental question. At that time, at your 7 years old, you know you can sing, you get in front of the people, and you got it started. You knew this is going to be life-changing opportunity for you? You knew this is your career at that time?
I didn't. I knew that it was my career to be a performer since I was born. Like, I've known that, but because I had so much rejection and bullying, I knew that that was what I was meant to be, but I stopped believing that it was possible. So I already knew that that was my destiny, but that was the day that I got that 1% of, oh, I might actually be able to be the person that I dreamed of.
Oh, so this is really engaging, because most of people say, yeah, I got it, I knew this was me, but you're saying I believed in it, and then kind of a lost belief, but then keep it going, and you never know where the life goes as long as you are committed to yourself. Is that what you're saying, that commitment was there within you?
Well, the commitment was always there, because I was taking dance classes. I was, the commitment was there, but I had no belief at that point. I was completely, I was 17, I was in high school, I was completely, devastated. And that was the first time that I thought that there might be hope, that I might actually be seen in the world. So for me, it was more, it was just seeing the possibility, really.
So when do you start seeing success? Because now people want to know that you started from one point, you nailed it, you start talking about 1%, and you starting on that. So when you start seeing the success, progress, movement, then you start believing in it.
So here's what's interesting, is that there's 2 periods of my life when that actually happened, that I started seeing success, but I didn't actually recognize it at the time. And then when I actually did see success and I recognized it. So so let me just kind of scan through this. So when I was 19 years old, I had earned an apprenticeship to work with Live Into Canada on a bunch of shows that were pre-Broadway. And so I literally was working at 19 years old with Broadway directors and producers and all these great people. And I remember, and I didn't realize at the time of what a big deal that this little 18-year-old or 19-year-old was working with these big, huge stars from Broadway and being trained under them. And at the end of the summer of my apprenticeship, they said, hey, can you sing for us? Because you've been working for us, but we have never heard you sing. And I don't remember what I sang, but they all sat there godsmacked. And I remember that Marty Bell, who is a Broadway producer, said to me, whenever you're done school, you come knocking on my door and we will find you a show on Broadway. And I didn't realize at the time that was huge success, because even though my belief was growing, I still looked at myself in the mirror and thought I was a piece of crap, and I didn't understand at that time what a huge gift that was. And then I never ended up reaching out, because by the time I was done university, I was distracted getting married and forgot about my dreams. So that was the first time that I had major success, but didn't recognize it. But the second time I had major success and I really recognized it is when I moved to the United States, I immigrated there, and it was right after the economic crash in 2008. And it was a worst possible time for anybody to actually move to the US and try to build up their performing career, their speaking career. But within a year of being there, even though I knew nobody, I was sharing stages with some of the biggest names on the planet, including Emmy winners. And I got an award from the US president just after the year mark. I mean, it was crazy. But I recognized at that point where it was like, oh, wow, I finally made it. So there's really 2 points. The first time when I really did and it didn't recognize it, and then when I had the success in the US.
You know, Cindy, you are so honest. I love it because most people will say, I got it, I knew where I was going and everything. And you are like clearly saying, no, I didn't knew at time. And then later I knew it. And the best part I learned is that when you moved to the United States in the middle of the crisis of financial breakdown, and you made it that time. So that shows that you exude authority in what you do. Before we go on the break, I wanted to ask you, Outlier and Malcolm Gladwell talk about 10,000 hours rule. Do you see yourself that you spend 10,000 hours in it, or you're good working toward it?
I'm a big believer, 10,000 and keep going and keep going. I mean, I think of myself and the amount of training that I've done of a singer, dancer, actor. I mean, 8 hours a day of training for years, maybe not years on end, but for that first year. And then all those years of lessons, like 10 years of opera training. Like, I mean, it was excessive. And until today, I mean, I live in New York and I have a really strong resume, but I'm still training under a Tony Award winner on my acting. I still train even though I have a great resume and lots of credentials, because you know what? I could always be better. So do I believe in 10,000? I believe in 100,000 and keep going.
Whoa.
Well, I believe in 10,000 and then just keep going, because
That's
why
right.
not be your best person, and why not be able to give more to the world?
Absolutely, I'm into that. This is Cindy Ashton. You already have seen the entrepreneur, the entertainer, and singer out of there. So, this is very exciting. A true, honest conversation happening from an award-winning TV host out of New Jersey, but her heart is with Toronto. So is mine. We'll be taking a short break, and we'll come back on this Outliers Show. And then we'll talk about what Cindy is up to, how she's helping others, how she's giving an opportunities to other people becoming an award-winning presenter and an outlier. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Outliers Show. Your host Rizwan, Rashid, and my guest Cindy Ashton from New York, New Jersey, right on the intersection. She is looking out of the window at the Apple City right now, and while she's discussing with us, because her heart and soul also belongs to Toronto. Cindy, we talk about that. How's your first opportunity being, a child? You're standing in front of an 800 audience as a singer. You start believing in that. You had a little bit of hiccup, and then you made it. And then you made it and we were enjoying this honest conversation, and everybody loving it. How you really believe in the 1%, and then going toward that 100%. Now, let's talk about this. Now you become also the trainer for the keynote presentation, and you help other people to become better presenter. And so is that the way that you give your platform, give your audience, your clients an opportunity to get in front of more opportunities, or the opportunities they have it, so nail it? How does that work?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So interestingly, in my 20 plus years of teaching presentation skills, I've noticed that a lot of my clients come to me. I do have a couple here and there that want to be keynote speakers on a stage, but the majority of them are business professionals who say, Cindy, how do I be a better presenter so that I can have better influence and be able to increase my sales? So it's been an amazing journey, and of really helping people to look at how they're communicating in terms of their message and their body language and their presence. But beyond that, I feel like the greatest joy is giving somebody their dignity. And I mean that in the sense that every person is freaking amazing and unique and brilliant. And the fact that I have an opportunity to bring that brilliance out of them and let them be seen and let their voices be heard, that is probably, even though they end up making money after working with me for the most part, like, to me, that's the greatest joy, is to see somebody let their voice be heard and just get out there and be their best selves. I mean, that's, to me, the greatest gift of my job.
I love it, because I think when you be able to express yourself, present yourself, this is everything works in a relationship, in your business, in your professionalism. Everything is connected with your ability to communicate, and not just words only. How you communicate, your tonality, your body language, and everything. I can't say more because I am talking to a guru who tells other people how to present. So, Cindy, you know, we know that you are in all those multiple medias at ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, Forbes, Inc. magazine, and many, many more. What is the latest quest? What is the latest venture Cindy is working on, helping clients to get in front of more opportunities?
Yeah, it's interesting because I've got two things that I'm working on. The first is, because of what happened with COVID, the minute that hit, I realized that all of my clients who I trained to be able to be a great presenter in person were now going to have to be virtual. And so it has been my mission to help all of my clients learn how to be wonderful virtual presenters. And so I've been working a lot with them on, if you're giving a webinar, what questions do you ask to elicit responses because you're not in front of a crowd? If you are, you know, for my executives, if you're leading a meeting remotely, how do you still come across as engaging and make sure that you're being heard and listened to, and that you are listening to your employees? You know, all those pieces. If you're leading a sales conversation, how's your voice? So it's been actually an absolute joy that we are, and this sounds crazy, we're in the middle of a crisis that is going to take a while to unravel itself. And to be in a situation where I can help people through this, and it's been amazing to see my clients, you know, and be part of their success of turning it around. So that's the first thing that I've been working on in this time period.
Okay, so this is kind of a timely thing that you are working on, because everybody needed at this time, right? Everything is remote now.
And you know, a lot of people are talking about the technical side of virtual presenting, but no one seems to be talking about how, when you're sitting down, for example, Rizwan, I mean, you're standing, it looks like you're standing right now, but when you're sitting down, you end up taking a lot of tension into the body. And when you take that tension, it reads badly on camera. So there's little things like that. Or if you're creating, like I'm working with a lot of realtors, for example, and they're trying to figure out how to create promotional videos and do Facebook Lives, and they're like, I'm looking at a camera lens, I don't know what to do. And so to help them to be able to look at that camera lens and know how to map out that video script and know how to make it feel alive and personal, even though they see nobody, I mean, that's a really cool thing. That's a really cool thing that I get to do. It's fun, and I feel really grateful.
Wow, I must say this is the interesting part of it, because I'm seeing it too, because I do a lot of coaching over you know, the internet, or what you call virtual rooms. It was totally different when you were sitting next to this person one-on-one, and you understand the feeling of it, the temperature of it, that you know, that feeling is so strong. And I literally can talk about that number of stories when and entrepreneurs who are talking about that, why why they are not succeeding or why they are succeeding. We were able to pinpoint it based on my observation of the body, and I can really almost tell most of the time that it is their why which is either interacting or contradicting what they are doing. And then when the why becomes clear, they become really there. But now we are changing this to virtual world, and we are all learning in this new world. And I'm glad you talk about this COVID-19. So what they're seeing, what's the benefit of it, what they're seeing after your training, after your help, that they are able to present more, connect more, relate more, or relate more powerfully?
Yeah, and if you want, I would love to even give some advice on how to do this.
Yes, please.
So what I'm seeing is that they're able to, because essentially it's not just COVID-19, but we've got Black Lives Matter that's on the rise. Like, there's a lot of social unrest, and people have lost their homes, they've lost their jobs. I mean, people are now homeschooling. Women have gone back to the 50s because now they're trying to homeschool and work full time. Like, there's a lot going on, and the stress levels are super high. And, you know, what I'm seeing more than ever is that we have to raise our emotional intelligence levels. And we've been talking about emotional intelligence as a trend for the last 2 years. But if you are not being more present with your prospects, if you're not being more present with your team, the people you're interacting with, and really truly listening on a deeper level, people are too stressed out right now. They need people who are going to be present with them and listen and be more empathetic, because people are going through a lot. Especially with the cultural stuff, we also need to learn to listen more and be willing to understand diversity on a deeper level. So in terms of one of the major things I talk to my clients about that I would love to share with all of you is the importance of learning to be present. And a lot of that is just learning to just take some time and just breathe, remove all the tension from your body, and just exhale longer than your inhale. Spend like a couple of minutes just breathing in and exhale nice and long. Because when you exhale longer than the inhale, and you do that for 2 or 3 minutes, it stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is basically helps you to focus your mind, which makes you more present and able to listen. It relaxes your muscles, which frees up your body and makes you look more relaxed and not like this on camera. You know, and it just allows you to feel better in your body and more grounded. So the first thing I do with all my clients is help them just to be more present. Just relax and trust your own presence and be more present and listen. And so it's been really interesting because I am seeing a lot of my clients having huge success. And they're saying, hey, Cindy, just by learning how to calm myself down, it's actually people who are stressed out in my meetings, for example, are starting to respond to my calming voice. They're starting to calm down and listen to the others on the call, you know. So it's actually really cool because I'm seeing my executives, my managers doing really well, but I'm also seeing my salespeople converting higher. And because here's the truth is that people learn a sales process, which is a valuable thing to learn. But if a prospect doesn't feel seen or heard, they're not going to buy.
I agree.
And if sorry, go ahead, Rizwan.
I agree. Go ahead. No.
Yeah, and if you were like really stressed out, you're like, okay, sorry, Rizwan, what did you just say? All right, great. So it's like, okay, just, you know. So by learning to be present and just listen, people feel heard. If you just let people talk, they feel heard. And so, and if you use a voice that calms people, again, they feel safe with you, they trust you more. So it's interesting because although I know sales tactics and can certainly teach my clients, you know, a tactic or two if they need it, I just find that they end up making better sales by learning to be better listeners and asking better questions. So it's really amazing. Like, it's really amazing to see the shifts that's happened in the last few months and the possibilities. You know, in every great crisis, there's opportunity.
Love it. You connecting the dots. Awesome. Yes. it is all about opportunities. You're right, because now we are confined to our home, our office, but with this using this media, the technology, you can be global, you can be worldwide without having to move an inch. That is another exciting thing in there. But Cindy, the way when you were talking about the breathe in, breathe out, I can almost see that singer in there using the diaphragm. Like, this is very great technique for all the speakers, coaches, and trainers to use that in order to get in that mind, that energy, because that energy comes right out when you inhale a lot of oxygen back into your body. Wonderful. Cindy, how do they contact you? Where do they start to be in contact with you?
Yeah, so you can go to cindyashton.com. Super easy, cindyashton.com. So on there, I actually have a bunch of free videos on virtual presenting skills. So you just click on the presentation tab and you'll see it. And if I was going to say, if you're looking for a singer, I have a one-woman show. I don't know right now that anyone's getting on stage. However, for 2021, I do already have bookings for 2021 as a speaker and a singer. So all on cindyashton.com.
Awesome. Cindy, we are coming to the end of the show. I want to, you gave a lot of great advice, especially for the people who are working from the home, either in sales or in leadership, and able to connect with other people, even on a personal level. You talk about really one thing I really wrote it here, that how you feel you're grounded, because not only that you want to present that powerful structure, but how to be human. And that is, go ahead.
No, I mean, that's the thing is I actually don't love a lot of speaking training out there, because I find that it's not about being human. It's about stand here, smile, do a gesture here, get a script, memorize it. And it's like, we're not robots, we're human beings. And when you learn to be and trust in who you are, then that's what you radiate. Like you, Rizwan, radiate so much joy and so much greatness at all times. It's beautiful.
Thank you. So we are on a high note, Cindy. So what you want to leave our audience with on a high note? What's your inspiring message that they will leave tonight on our Outlier Show?
I want everybody to know that no matter what happens, because there's so much noise coming at us at all times, it's just noise. And ultimately, we have that inner wisdom within ourselves that we need to start trusting our guts. So whenever you start to feel that overwhelm and everything coming at you, take a moment to breathe and trust your inner gut, because that will know your inner gut, your inner wisdom, and your inner voice is the most powerful thing in the world. So trust that above everything else.
Beautiful. You are not only fabulous, but your talk is beautiful and connecting with that inner voice. I live by my mantra that escape mediocrity to achieve excellence, and it only happens when you discover your own true identity. And without identity, we kind of keep trying to live by someone else's dreams or identity, or follow that aspect of it. This is Cindy Ashton, live coming from New York, and sharing her first opportunity, how she actually nailed it, and even with the little, that aspiration, standing in front of 800 audience, and then believe in one person, and then step by step she's going over there. The loving part to me, and inspiring part to me and to you, is how she's helping other people becoming outlier, presenting them, and especially in this COVID, or what I call post-COVID world, when we probably will be doing a lot of virtual, Cindy would be an awesome resource for us to be able to use. And if you want to connect with her, you can go to her website, cindyashton.com. Cindy, it has been an honor and privilege to have that one-on-one discussion and learning from you. You are officially as an outlier.
Yes, Rizwan, thank you so much for having me, and thank you everybody for watching. I'm very blessed.
Thank you so much. There is an outlier in you. All you have to do is believe that one person, and that one person take you to the next level. Watch our show every week, coming to you on Rogers TV and Canada One TV, because we want you to bring your outlier outside.